Gotta love that awkward first couple seconds after you click go live where you're not sure if you're actually live or not, and so you're just kind of looking at your computer weird. Hi, I'm Pat Dooley, Kings of Consoles, and the creator and co-host of the podcast. This is the Twitch stream that supports that. You can see all the places where you can download the podcast over here, plus all our social media and stuff. This is Freestyle Friday, so I'm not playing anything for the show. I'm just playing whatever I feel like it, which tonight is Tecmo Super Bowl. I am in the middle of a season where I am playing every game as, obviously only one team per game. But with the eventual goal of when the season ends, all 28 teams ending the season 8-8, just to see what happens. So I'm starting week 4. I've already gone into team control and set who I'm going to be playing at in all the games. So I'm just going to hit the ground running. Just such a happy little game. Ooh, very nice. Kickoffs in this game are always like you either kick it as far as you possibly can, or you accidentally overshoot and it's an onside kick. Unfortunately, that didn't happen here, and we're going to start with a safety. Alright, I will take a 2-0 lead to start. This is off a very good start. Yeah, see what I said? What I was talking about. Plus that it's really, really hard to miss extra points. I hate when they do that.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Touchdown.
It's so funny to look at this game and realize this is the 1991 season, which was 30 years ago.
Ready, down, put.
So for whatever reason, there are a couple players who, when this game was made, were... I don't know if they were not members of the NFLPA or if they just didn't want their likenesses used. But one of them is Randall Cunningham, who was the quarterback for the Eagles at this point. But he's just in this as QB Eagles. Same thing for Jim Kelly with the Bills. Might be one more. But I guess we'll find out since I'm playing every game this week.
Ready, down, put.
Made a bad cut.
Ready, down, put.
The AI in this is pretty predictable, which you can imagine being an 8-bit game. So a lot of times it's just a matter of, okay, well, if the player's there, I just have to cut here. And I'm pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, right there. I just took a bad angle.
Ready, down, put.
I don't know why he keeps wanting to throw out of bounds when he's throwing a hill.
Ready, down, put.
So the problem getting into loose lips.
Touchdown.
Possibly Louis lips? I don't know. I was like 8 or 9 when this game came out, and I didn't know hardly any of the players, except for the super famous ones, and everybody on the Lions. Who I'm honestly not sure if this is one of the weeks where I play as the Lions or not. So 32-0 halftime lead. Not bad. I'm trying to remember what my best ever game was. I think I won 80-0 once. I don't think I'm going to hit that in this game, but maybe.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
think I'm 3 for 3 on touchdowns on that play.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Nice job, Keith.
Ready, down, put, 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 put. Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Oh, man.
Ready, down, put, 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 put. Ready, down, put, 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 put. Ready, down, put, put, put.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, so much for my shutout.
Touchdown. Touchdown.
Since rebounding from giving up a touchdown, quite like running the kickback for a touchdown.
Ready, down, put, put, put.
Come on, guys. Fall asleep at the wheel just because you got a 39-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Killing me with that penalty. Yeah, he made it.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Okay, it was wide open. They were gonna run it. Oh well. This hat does not fit well. I just caught a glimpse of myself. Used to fit great before quarantine hair set in. It still looks okay backwards, but I figure since I'm, playing a football game, I should be showing my
Ready, down,
Lions pride. Pun intended, I guess. Because pride of
ready, down,
Lions.
put, put.
Be here all week, folks.
Ready, down, put, 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 put. Touchdown.
Delicious Coke Zero. I'm really trying to cut back on the soda consumption. I did so well last year. I lost 30-something pounds. And since Thanksgiving, I've put about 8 of it back on. And a lot of it is that I went back to drinking soda regularly.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
how they run that multipliers. I've been predicting that all game. Yeah, might as well go for it. 4th and 18. Down by 39. On our quarterback keeper. The design run. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Ready, down, put.
Oh no. The Eagles putting together a respectable second half here. 21. Well, assuming they score on this drive, which they probably will.
Ready, down, put.
Especially if he keeps it again. Well, somebody did catch it in the end zone. It just was me.
Ready, down, put.
Chance to try and get the 60 points in this one. Yep. Those looks like I need to. Oh no! Get up one more play here. 2
Ready,
seconds.
down, put.
On the off chance that the game uses points for and against as the tiebreaker, just try to score as much as I can. Nice 60-point game for the Steelers here. 117 yards rushing for Hodge and only 6 carries. That's pretty respectable. It's what, 19.5 yards per carry? Good game for Lips. Yeah. I mean, Cunningham didn't have a terrible game. Alright. Now we got the Colts are getting somebody back too. I mentioned I love the music in this game. Oh, I am not playing as the Lions. I'm playing against the Lions. Sorry, fellas. Yeah, that's not a great start.
Ready, down, put.
Barry Sanders doesn't have the field. Ooh, also, these jersey colors are a little similar for my taste. This might get a little distracting. Oh. Game looks like it's really liking those designed runs for the quarterbacks tonight.
Ready, down, put.
That's more like it. If you're just joining the stream, what I'm doing is I'm playing through the entire season mode on Tecmo Super Bowl with the goal of all 28 teams ending the season with an 8-8 record. So I went through and I figured out, who would have to win what games. And so I'm just playing every single game every single week. Played through as much of week 4 as I have time to tonight. Started off with I think 60-14 the Steelers over the Eagles. And this is the second game. Wearing my Lions cap, even though I'm playing against the Lions. Just to show them, uh-oh. Yep. As soon as I let that go. this is not a great start.
Ready, down, put.
Off the onside kick. Give up too quick, or give up the field goal. Turn it over. And now, although on the plus side, they've run I don't know how many plays from scrimmage so far, and none of them have been handing the ball to Barry Sanders. He said, speaking too soon. Take a better angle, guys. Yep, it's gone. All the sacks. Hey, Bazingo 85, long time no see. I'm just spotting them a few points just to make it interesting.
Ready, down,
Yeah. Yeah, you know, all things considered. Still digging the new job.
ready, down, put.
Still crushing it at Tecmo, even though this game seems to paint a different story. Paint a different story? That's not an expression. Oh, come on. No. Okay. Thank you for at least fumbling out of bounds. I appreciate it. Good hustle, fellas. Good hustle. I don't remember what play that was I just ran. I try not to run the same thing back to back. There we go. That's more like it. Hit it again. Split second timing on that. Either kick it all the way to the back of the end zone or have it bounce around the 50. And there goes Barry again. Maybe it's the hat. Maybe I'm being too encouraging. Oh, quarantine hair. Oops. Oh well, I wasn't gonna block it anyway. Spotting on that 10-point lead. Just gonna make it that much more impressive when I come back. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to reconfigure pretty much the entire season.
Ready, down,
Excuse me. Oh! All that scrambling and he still almost completes it.
ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Come on, Albert, you got this. Good man. I am playing. I'm trying to make it so that every team ends the season 8-8. So I'm playing every single game as every single team. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to play against the Lions 8 times this season. But on the other hand, that means I also get to play as the Lions 8 times.
Ready, down, put.
No idea what I'll do when the playoffs come around. Much better. Here we go. Take that lead into halftime. Like I said, come on. What, 0 for 4 on those? Uh-oh. And Barry. Alright, well. No sense chasing him, fellas. He's gone. Those of you that listen to the podcast may recognize the sound of the crowd cheering after that touchdown. That's the cheering sound that plays behind the intro to every episode. Alright.
Ready, down, put.
Come on, Jeff. Get us that lead going into halftime. Yards are yards. Right? Also, that halftime show kinda risque for 1990 Nintendo.
Ready, down, put.
Oh, come on. Right off your chest.
Ready, down, put.
Wow.
Ready,
This game is
down,
just not
put.
going well. I swear, if you'd watched the first game, 60-14 Steelers over the Eagles. No, these are definitely the Jeff George years. There we go. It's just like a very, very long onside kick. Yeah, that's not Peyton. That's not Andrew Luck. For the, 2.5 seasons, he was really good. That's not even Phillip Rivers. There we go. That's what I've been trying to do all game.
Ready, down, put.
The football team is really good in this. Yeah. Tecmo Mark Rippon is 10 times the player that real Mark Rippon was.
Ready, down, put.
Yeah, that's hard to argue. Monk especially, at least when I play, Monk is really, really good. There's a lot of receivers in this that, like Henry Ellard on the Rams is a beast. Obviously, like Jerry Rice is fantastic. Alright. Don't know what the last play was I ran, but I don't know that it really matters.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Ricky Kroll for the Cardinals is really good in this too.
Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, not my finest hour. 3rd and 22.
Ready, down, put.
You know, the man man you want in that situation is Jeff George. Or not. Yes, I'm gonna punt. I guess I would feel a whole lot more comfortable if we got one more safety. Ah. Just slightly too far.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
The hard thing about playing the Lions is almost every one of their plays is run out of the same set.
Ready, down, put.
4 wide, only Barry in the backfield with Pete. All but about 2 plays are from that same 2 on either side. Actually, I think there may only be 1 play in their entire playbook that doesn't run from that. A lot of teams you can kind of guess what the play is going to be. Even if you guess wrong when you're picking your play from the playbook, this one I know is a pass because I recognized that 3 was supposed to be a pass, but Pete kept it. It's designed as a pass. But that's the only play in their playbook where they have 3 wide receivers on the left side.
Ready, down, put.
Most teams have several different looks, so you can kind of guess. Like, oh, well, if they're lined up in the shotgun with the halfback next to the quarterback, it's either going to be this pitch or one of these 2 passes. The lines are very hard to plan for. And just like that, I'm losing again.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Oh. George is having some control problems tonight.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
There we go.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
It's alright. Albert Bentley will just take the game into his own hands here. Just a pitiful display from the receiving core. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't let Barry pick it up. Okay. I'm okay with Aubrey Matthews having it. Alright, there is no equivalent to a prevent defense here. Alright, come on. Yes. So, no, they get one more shot at it.
Ready,
Come
down,
on.
put.
Excellent. Wow, that was a nail biter. Shootout in Motown. Look at that. 25% completion, 91 yards, and an interception. But Albert Bentley more than doubled up Sanders in yardage. And that was just high scoring, but ugly. Alright. Well, that's either really good news or really bad news. Although Emmitt Smith in 1990 wasn't quite Emmitt Smith. It's really good news, though. He's on my team. Excuse me. I need to stop trying for the full power kickoff. Uh-oh. Oh no. Hey, remember what I was saying about Ricky Prohl being a beast? Johnny Johnson's also weirdly good in this. And Neil Anderson for the Bears. That's annoying. Just building the drama, though. It is weird, you can tell, and it wasn't, like, on his way up at this point, because he is really good in the game, but only 2 of the running plays on the Cowboys play sheet go through him. They've also got a reverse, and just a pitch out to another player. Injured in the season. I don't remember which game it was he went down in, but I have Laufenberg as the quarterback. Babe Laufenberg. Which sounds like a made-up name from like a Japanese baseball game where they try to like approximate English names. Whew. That's scary.
Ready, down, put. Touchdown.
Whenever a team runs that play, I always tackle the quarterback first, because there's a version of that play in the playbook where it then turns into a flea flicker, like this. And the receiver will always pitch it, even if the quarterback is on the ground, which essentially just works like a fumble. Gosh, what did I do last?
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh. That was generous.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Oh, that's an interception. Oh! Wow.
Ready, down, put.
See, Babe Laufenberg is having a better game than Jeff George did. Oh, man. That would have been a fun way to end the half. Okay. 30-7 is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty fun. Start the second half by returning the kickoff to touchdown. I'm not mad at that.
Ready, down, put.
This is definitely more like it. That Indy Detroit game was much too close for my liking. I scored 9 points in the second half, and I'm just now running my first offensive play.
Ready, down, put.
Oh, that shouldn't have worked, but I'm so glad it did.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
If you just joined us in the last little bit, I am playing through the entire season mode in Tecmo Super Bowl as every single team. So basically I went through... My goal is to have every team end the season 8-8. just to see what happens. And so I went through and I looked at every team's schedule and I figured out like which games each team has to win, which one has to lose. Because I almost never lose at this anymore. Just I've been playing it for 30 years. So yeah, so this is week 4 of the season. This is the third game of the week. I thought about trying to play all 14 games, but let's see how late that winds up running. It's Friday on a 3-day weekend, so if people are still into it by the time we start to get close to 10, I may just keep going. Otherwise, it may just become a future stream.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Michael, why you run out of bounds? Why you do this, Michael? That's not going very far. Cardinals returner is Vi Sikahama, which sounds like the first couple of lyrics from Circle of Life. Again.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Touchdown.
I'm going to take a very brief bio break after this game. Step away for just a second. You know what? I made a Be Right Back logo and forgot to put it in this scene in OBS. So you guys are going to get to see me mess with that a little bit when this game ends. So that'll be exciting. Troubleshooting in real time. They just keep running that play, and I just keep taking it from them.
Ready, down, put.
They're just catching that play every time I run it.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh. Now they got me doing it. The fumbles, they are contagious. Oh well. Yeah. Oh, look at that. I didn't allow us. I gave up 1 yard the entire game. That is wild. Okay, yeah, that's a 250 to 1 rushing, 97 to nothing passing. I'll take that. Alright, so here we go. You excited for some real-time editing? Shoot, how do I... Professional show business. Oh, Wyatt insists on importing it at the biggest possible size. All that work just for that. Alright, I will be right back. Alright, feel like a new man. Alright. So what do we got next? Bears and Jets. And hey, Bazingo85, I'm going to be playing as your Bears, so you're welcome. So we've had a couple new people join the stream since the last update. I am playing through the entire season mode in Tecmo Super Bowl, trying to end the season with every single team in the league having an 8-8 record. Just because I want to see what kind of chaos that's going to drum up. So I'm in week 4, and this is my 4th game of the week. So far, the Steelers blew out the Eagles. Colts beat the Lions in a weird nail-biter. And then the Cowboys just crushed the Cardinals. And then we got the Bears and the Jets, and you're all caught up. Unless you're wondering why this channel is called Kings of Consoles. This is actually in support of a podcast that I do. My co-host, Ricky Giraldo, and I are playing through IGN's list of the 100 best games for the NES, March Madness style. So each week on the podcast, we talk through 2 games, pros and cons. Winner moves on. I guess I'll just come out and say it. I kind of tiptoed around it on social media and on Wednesday night's stream. Ricky has the flu. So, this week's episode is delayed. It was supposed to come out yesterday. My hunch is it'll be either this weekend or early next week, depending on, once he's able to record and not feel like he's going to die. But typically, every Thursday, noon Central Time, a new episode drops. Over in the upper right corner, you can see all the different platforms where you can download the podcast, as well as all of our social media and our challenge page, which is a website that is letting us host our bracket there. I also have a big whiteboard version of it behind me. Yes, yeah. I don't know where it's a little misshapen. Bazinga85 hitting me up on both the chat and text. That Be Right Back logo's a little big. Yeah. So my wife's the graphic designer in the family. I am the... I honestly don't know what I am. I'm the guy that plays Tecmo Super Bowl 30 years later, I guess. Music is so great in this game.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Oh, come on. Really? You're gonna let Ken O'Brien get that kind of yardage on you? Bears were supposed to have a good defense this time. Alright. Refocus.
Down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Apparently I traded for all the Colts receivers.
Ready, down, put.
Oh man. That would have been fun. I mean, safeties are good too, but recovering a fumble for a touchdown is better.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
get that 30 on the board before we go back to the locker room. Attaboy, Brad. Get open. It's so weird seeing the rosters on these teams being like analyst, coach, analyst, coach. But I guess that's what happens when you're playing a 30-year-old video game. Just a couple more and you're open. Come on. Come on, Johnny. You can do this. Ah, man.
Ready, down, hunt. Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt.
Oh, the fridge.
Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt.
I said it was funny that the Jets
Ready, down,
running backs in this game,
hunt.
and between the two of them, they have 4 last names: Blair, Thomas, Freeman, McNeil. Maybe that's only funny to me. I've played this so many times that it just, I don't think about the game anymore. I just think about weird stuff.
Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt,
Yeah.
hunt, hunt, hunt.
I wish that was something you had control over, but it makes you control the returner, which, I mean, is fine, but...
Ready, down, hunt.
I'm bummed I haven't blocked a field goal yet tonight. But I also haven't really had a ton of opportunities.
Ready, down, hunt. Ready, down, hunt. Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt. Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt. Ready, down, hunt, 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 hunt.
And yes, I do play by NFL Blitz rules, where just because the play is over doesn't mean I have to stop tackling you.
Ready, down, hunt.
Look at that. So clean coming out the other side. That's what she said? I don't know. serpentine. Works almost every time if you can get into open enough field with a fast enough player. Barry and Bo are both almost untackleable if they can get into zigzag mode.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Alright.
Ready, down, put.
Oh, come on, Wendell.
Ready, down, put.
It has always been my goal, and I've never been able to pull it off, because I want to put up 100 in a game. I've done, like, 83 a couple of times, but I've never been able to crack that century mark. I'm definitely not in this game, but 60 plus I can see that.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Now, for many, many reasons, a safety would have been fun there, but
Down, put.
it would have at the very least been nice. But we'll take 74. Alright, so unless Terrence Mathis can run this back. Yep, 74 to nothing. Not bad. Again, no completed passes at all. 23 rushing yards by their quarterback on 2 carries, 1 yard on 11 carries by their actual running backs. Yeah, I'll take it. Alright. So that was game 4? Yeah. Cincinnati and Washington now. Playing as Cincinnati. I do always choose to kick off because I like getting the ball to start the second half. I don't know why, but I just like, I feel like I score more points in the second half when I do that.
Ready, down, put.
Alright, good start, good start. I like it.
Down, put. Ready, down, put.
Almost.
Ready, down, put.
Alright, come on, Icky, get a thrust over there. Thank you.
Ready, down, put.
Really not,
Ready, down, put.
not giving me much.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Binder's another one of those that if he gets in daylight, he's hard to stop.
Ready, down, put.
Much better in this game than I ever remember him being as an actual player.
Ready, down, put.
That was dangerous.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Well, it's not quite the fireworks from that last game. The night is still young.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Cincinnati secondaries earned themselves a pay raise.
Ready, down, put.
good first half.
Down. Put.
James Brooks on the other hand. For the reminder, Duolingo, but I don't have time to work on my Spanish right now. I'm beating up on a Washington football team whose name will not be mentioned.
Ready. Down. Put.
They haven't announced their new team name yet, right? That was just Cleveland's baseball team.
Down. Put.
Hard to keep track of which racist mascot is
Ready. Down. Put.
which at this point. I went to college at Central Michigan University, which for a while their mascot was the Fighting Chippewas, which the Saginaw Chippewa tribe, which the reservation is butts right up against Isabella County, which is where Mount Pleasant, Michigan is, which is where Central Michigan University is. Anyway, long way of saying, the tribe basically told them, hey, we don't like that. Can you change the name? So they changed it to the Chippewas as a sign of respect that they, because of the relationship that they have with the tribe. They changed their name. They dropped the fight and just the Chippewas. A few years ago, when not the last time, but the time before, when racist nicknames started getting some attention, like when Syracuse changed their name and Hawaii changed their name. The NCAA tried to force CMU to change their name from the Chippewas because, same reason. But the Saginaw Chippewa tribe basically issued a statement saying, yeah, we're not offended. As long as they don't put the fighting back in, the students don't do war chants in the stands, they don't paint their faces. We take it as a sign of respect that they use our name. So, basically I always point to that as an example of you can, honor your local native population with your team name. Florida State does the same thing with the Seminoles, although they've got to knock it off with the war chant stuff. They've gotten better about it, but the Central Michigan Chippewas are an excellent example of how you can do that right, and how you don't have to drag your feet, and you don't have to go kicking and screaming like Dan Snyder and the owner of the Indians did. The Spiders now. Or next season, because for some reason they couldn't change it this year, even though they've already come out with their name. Anyway. Long-winded way of saying, I am not going to be calling the Washington football team by the name that they are given in this game. I will, however, happily lay a beating on them.
Ready. Down. Put. Ready. Down. Put.
I've been playing this game 30 years, but until I started playing it on, using my computer rather than a TV monitor and wearing headphones while I play, I never really noticed the drum beat behind the main tune. For, only having, I think they only had 2 audio tracks in the 8-bit era. It's remarkably well done. What did I just do?
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready,
YOLO.
down, put.
That's not pretty.
Ready, down, put.
Darn it. So much for the shutout. Actually, I take back a thing I said earlier. Not the whole you can honor tribes without being racist thing, because that's still true. The thing about there only being 2 audio tracks, I am totally on the wrong era. I'm pretty sure it was the Atari that only had 2 audio tracks. I'm hearing definitely more than 2 distinct tracks. But even still, impressive layering of sound at only 8 bits. What's the point I was trying to make? I just had my numbers wrong. Dagnabbit.
Ready, down, put.
Yep, those timeouts will help you. Down 28 with 1:06 to go.
Down, put.
Good plan in there, Joe.
Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh. One more possession. Start at your own 20.
Ready, down, put.
I think that's my first sack in this game. Or at least
Ready, down,
my first user sack.
put.
Nah, that can't be right.
Ready, down, put.
There haven't been many, though.
Put.
That safety, the safety. Well, the fourth quarter did not go how I would have liked, but still. 100% completion, 262 yards. Ruben had 4 picks. I'm okay with that result. Alright, what do we got next? Bucks and Bills. Excuse me.
Ready, down, put.
That I was saying earlier about Randall Cunningham and the Eagles. Jim Kelly was another one of those that's just in there as QB Bills. Just for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because he wasn't a member of the NFLPA or if it was because he was not. He just didn't want to use his likeness.
Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
Well, that was weird.
Ready, down, put.
Supposed to be a pitch to Anderson, but they tied Testaverde up before he could make the pitch. So Anderson just ran away, and Testaverde just stood there. Oh, man. I zagged when I should have zigged.
Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put. Touchdown. put, put. Ready, down, put, put.
Uh-oh.
Touchdown.
Ready, down, put. 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 Ready, down, put.
Uh-oh.
Ready, down, put.
I'm getting the ball back in 6
Ready,
seconds anyway.
down, put.
Oh well. I could tell you last time I only scored 2 points in a quarter. Definitely doesn't look like those Bills teams that went to 4 straight Super Bowls, but it does a little bit look like those Buccaneers teams that were just atrocious in the late 80s and early 90s. Still another probably decade before. Oh boy. Yep, that was bound to happen. Jeez. Didn't even let it air out.
Put. Ready, down, put. Ready, down, put.
The little do. Sounds a little Mega Man-y. I really picked up on that before, but again, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, I'm not really used to playing this one with headphones. Gang, I was hoping to get through the whole week tonight, but I'm honestly kind of feeling a migraine coming on, so I think I might call it after this one. We'll be back streaming. The current plan is Monday. For Castlevania 3 and Super C. That will be a tournament night. There might be some travel involved. I'm not sure. It took a COVID test today to see if I might be free to slip away for the weekend. You know, being the holiday and everything. So that Monday stream may get postponed, especially if our recording schedule is still messed up from Ricky having the flu. So you may see me Monday, you may not. This has just not been my game. He said leading by 2 scores with less than 3 minutes to go in the game, but still. Excuse me. See if playing the last 2 minutes with the blue light blocking glasses on helps. I look so dumb in these. But they do actually help a little. I also probably ought to have my overhead light off and my LEDs on. But yeah, I'm gonna call it. Not feeling great. Ooh, really expected that to get picked up. Also, really hard to see Tampa's orange jerseys on the pink end zone when you're wearing glasses that filter out blue light, because everything just kind of looks orange. So it's like my players are camouflaged, but only from me. Which is really a terrible way to play games. Alright, Not my finest hour, but you know what? 23-7 is not bad. Especially since I gave up 176 passing yards and more first downs. But... Alright, so... Yeah, before I wrap up for the night, I do, I'll be back at some point to play the other 8 games? Did I only get through 6? I got through 6. So yeah, 8 more games. Yeah, look at the standings. See, everybody's kind of floating around that 2-2 mark that's played their 4th game. Some of them are 3-1. Some of the teams, Tampa Bay is 4-0. The Giants are 3-0. Some of them I had to kind of front load with wins or losses. Typically, it's every team plays every team in their division twice, so I made it so that those would split so that the game couldn't use that as a tiebreaker. Basically, I'm just playing this season like I'm an agent of chaos, hence the red glasses. No, these are purely medical. But yeah, so that was me playing Tecmo. It is the game I have poured more hours of my life into than any other video game ever made. For no reason. I mean, it's because it's great, but I, have gained nothing from it. And it was knocked out in the first round of the tournament because of a coin toss, which I still have not forgiven Ricky for picking. Shoot, I don't even remember what game it was now. That's how annoying it was. What was it that beat Tecmo? Alright, hold on. Anybody out there remember before I look it up? What was it? Battletoads and Double Dragon, the Ultimate Team, which is just flat out wrong. But anyway, thanks for watching. You can see over there, that's our tentative upcoming streams. Like I said, we'll see what happens. I forgot Monday was a holiday when I put that schedule together, and there's a chance we may do some minor traveling. So these next couple of streams may get switched around a little bit. But you can see the logos over there. You can see where you can download the podcast, which is, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon, Podbean, Facebook.com/Kings of Consoles, at Kings of Consoles on Twitter. I'm at LoopyDate. Ricky's at RickyGN7. Challenge.com/Kings of Consoles to see the digital version of our bracket for when we do play the bracket games. Let's see, what am I forgetting? Coffee. You can buy us a cup of coffee at ko-fi.com/Kings of Consoles. Email us kingsofconsolespod@gmail.com. Come on, random slideshow. Give me one I haven't mentioned. I may have actually gone through them and we're just watching the logos for no reason. You can also see upcoming podcast episodes. Again, those dates probably getting moved around a little bit because the episode that was supposed to come out yesterday has been postponed because Ricky has the flu and we weren't able to record like we intended to earlier this week. So, wishing him a speedy recovery. I had the flu last year and it was miserable. Knocked me on my butt for basically a month. So hang in there, Ricky. But don't play hurt. Yeah. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you're not, please listen to the podcast. That is actually why this channel exists. And I will see you guys on the stream next time and play old games. Bye, everybody.